Okay. Hello, girls.
Morning.
Good
How are you?
morning. Good, 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 good.
You
Oh,
look
sorry. My cat is.
cheery and refreshing, Donna.
Thank you. No, it's because I came off from another call. So that's why I'm awake today. But yeah.
Right.
But I mean, otherwise, it's like, here we are as is, right?
So
So,
yeah, let's do
but
it.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, being on Zoom in the beginning, it was like really scary. So now it's changed. I think because, we've gotten much more comfortable on it, and it's gotten to the point where we're more comfortable and, I don't really care how I look anymore. Like I'll wake up sometimes and just pretty much roll out of bed and okay, comb my hair. Okay, get off the call.
That's exactly like I hate to look. I'm still in my bathrobe. So that's why I'm sitting like this because I'm like, you know what? It's like, do I waste time
Yeah,
putting this together or just get done what needs to be done? Because I actually got up at 6:30, but it's like I've been go, go, go,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
and because I'm so like jazzed up, right? Like I got my meditation, I got my workout, and I'm doing my breakfast, and now it's like, I've already been texting and like reaching out to like contacts and everything like that for about an hour. I did that, and now
awesome.
then, so yeah, I'm like, I've got a like super awesome day plan, me meeting with my girlfriends at 5 o'clock and then the 7 p.m. Zoom, like
Yeah,
I'm just like freaking fired up. Let's go do this. But you
go,
know
go,
what?
go.
Yeah, but the best thing is, it's like I feel like when you're conscious, it's like you find everything has a place that it fits in, like pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, but that's you're so right, and that's the words like being conscious, right? Being conscious of your time and having
Yes.
the intent.
Yeah.
That is key. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes a
Because
huge
yeah,
difference.
being super like I'm so clear about getting the most value out of every second.
Yeah,
It's like I just feel like I've got so much life to live, no time to waste. Like let's go make this stuff happen now. Like I'm
yeah.
just like, ooh, let's go.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you've got the plans, you've got the vision, you've got the goals, then it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's like we got to keep going, 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 right? So,
Well, you know what, and just so that you know, actually, the impact that you had on this, because you did that last week, waking up for the 7 o'clock commitment.
yeah,
That's what inspired me to be like, okay, I want to do that as well.
yeah.
Right. So now I made myself that commitment that at 7 o'clock in the morning is my commitment to do my meditations because that's the first thing I want to wake up to and do.
Yes, yes. I've been doing that too, and it makes a huge difference. Yeah,
Huge difference. Huge
yeah.
difference because there's no, there's a reason why I'm bouncy like this right now.
Yay, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, because I was getting up for the 7 o'clock meetings every day last week, I want to carry that forward to now. Um, so okay, I'm not getting up at 6:30, I have to admit, but I
You
am
know,
getting up at like,
yeah,
by 7, like
yeah.
7 o'clock, like,
But
so
you know what? It's 10 or 10:30. You've already been on. This is your second Zoom. You're fresh, ready to go for the day. Like
yeah,
you're already on a roll, good start, right? So
yeah.
celebrate those. So for tonight's Zoom, remember it's Wednesday wins we're going to be doing tonight.
Yes, that's right. Well, there we
Yeah,
go. That's a win. We've been awake and
yeah, yeah.
ready to
It's
go. Yeah,
true.
yeah.
It's true. All right. Okay. So let's do the social media thing.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So, okay. We were finishing off at the last call on, we had mentioned videos, right? And so, or we had thought about videos like just as we had dropped off. And so I want to go back to that and talk about producing videos for social media. And I think it's been great because I saw some videos that you had posted, Elaine, and I should post a bit more. I've posted the odd ones onto Facebook, for instance. Um, but and this is something that everybody tells us, like in the social media context, and I also know that it's true just from my experience. So when I first started posting videos, it was me taking shots of things, just sort of, diarizing it, cataloging it, and not saying anything. And one of the reasons was because, oh my God, it's like being on the camera now. Like, I was so afraid of it, and I was embarrassed, and I don't like my voice, and so I didn't talk on it. and then I post it and it's like, oh, okay, so that's nice. It's a shot of the ocean and the boats and stuff, like, but as I started, doing more videos, I would, talk a little bit. And I noticed that, oh, it actually makes the videos a little bit more interesting, so as I posted a few more videos or took a few more videos, I made it a point to actually speak in it a little bit more, like, and actually narrate a little bit. It's like, oh, here we are at the farmer's market, and it's, oh my God, those yummy croissants, and it's like, these bakers have been up all morning baking for us, that type of thing. And then just, okay, panning over and then talking a little bit more. It makes it much more engaging. And also, when you go back on the video, it actually explains more about what we're looking at, because, it becomes immortalized in on the internet. And so later on, if other people were to come across your video, they'd look at it like, if there's no narration, they look at it, it's like, okay, so here's the, people at the farmer's market, we think, or some sort of market. Like, they won't even know, it's a farmer's market. They just, it might be a festival or whatever. They're not quite sure. And the same with, like, my, sunset videos out off my deck, right? Like, you just sort of look at it, it's like, okay, because it's some stranger coming onto the video, looking at it and like, okay, so it's a shot of the ocean. What is this, right? And so, for posterity, it makes a huge difference to actually, have voice on it. And yeah, and so with your videos, Elaine, because I know that you're starting to do more, yeah, start talking in it, start getting used to your voice, right? So it makes a
That's
big
actually
difference.
a really good idea, because just yesterday I did do a video recording with my niece because I was carrying her on my back. And so I thought, okay, I pulled up a camera and just started recording that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of have a video, but the quality of the video didn't come out as good because my camera is not the best on my cell phone. But I'm like, you know what? I still kind of want to get it out there anyway. So I don't know, kind of,
Well, if the quality is okay, like, if
yeah,
it's kind of like what it is here on our screens,
yeah,
um, it's fine, especially if you narrate it, because if
yeah.
it's, it'd be different if it's a video of, something that if people stumbled across it, they don't really know what they're looking at, and there was, and the video quality wasn't good and there's no narration in it, then don't put it up. But if you're narrating something in it, like, if you're, making a story out of it, then the quality of the video doesn't have to be perfect, right? Because the
Oh.
narration is what people are there for, right? The story behind it, right?
Okay, you know what? I'm glad we're talking about this, because the video that I have, it's like the one is like we're in the park and my niece is flying a kite. So
Mhm.
where she is to where the kite is flying, I zoomed that.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, okay. So that's a good idea. I could, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That'll, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you were already talking about your niece flying the kite, it's like, oh my God, it's like, it's got this kite and it's like super high up, and it's like, and she's such a little person. It's just so big up in the sky compared to her. And then you followed it all the way up, because now you created that storyline, and now we're like, oh, look how high it is. And, like, I mean, you don't even have to say that part. It's just because you've prefixed it. And then, so then it's like, oh, okay, it's like a really big kite or really high up. And so then when you go zoom, you're emphasizing the story that you just told, and there it is finally, right? So
Question then,
mhm,
because you're right. I didn't actually narrate it while I was doing the video recording.
mhm.
Can I go back now and as the video is playing, narrate it? Like, is there a way of,
There is video editing apps that you can go and overlay
yeah.
audio on top of it. Yeah, and so to emphasize the importance of the narration, I have one video that I did out at Gary Point Park out in Richmond. And this was like from a few years ago. And there was these people that were, I don't know what you call it. They're like parachutes, right? Maybe they were doing, what do you call it? Kite flying, or they're not kites, like they're strapped to it. It's like and the wind picks up in it, and then they get picked up by the wind, and then they, I don't know, um there's a name for that sport. I can't remember what it is.
Right,
um
parasailing or gliding or something like that, or
yeah,
parasailing.
yeah. And so they were just learning, so they were catching the air, and they were just standing on the platform. I think they were picnic tables, and they were kind of like waiting for the air to catch, and then they were gonna like run off like it. And so they were just practicing and learning. But all of a sudden, you know, in it, like I saw this kite go by, like, you know, oh, what's that kite? And it was just, and then it was attached to little, like, they're like go-karts. And so these guys are sitting in it, and they've got they're hanging onto their kites, and the kites are actually taking the buggies across the whole park. Like, so they were, I don't know, kite buggying, I guess. And so anyway, so I was standing there with my girlfriend, and, you know, so I was videoing all this activity that was going on, and you could hear us talking, the two of us. So I wasn't actually narrating, because again, this was, you know, before I was, you know, willing to actually talk to the camera. But you could hear us in the background. It's like, oh, look at that. Like, oh, I think, like, oh my God, that's like a little buggy, and is being driven along by the kite. And so then I was trying to zoom in. It's like, okay, I can't quite fit it into the shot, but here it is. And then I follow the kite. And then I was like, oh yeah. And so those guys on the table, they still haven't even jumped yet. So it's like, and so we were talking. It's like, what do you think they're doing? It's like, I don't know. I think they're learning. It's like, maybe, right? And then I was like, oh, here comes those kite bug ears again. And so then I sort of scope out, and then, oh, look up on the hill, because I zoom over. It's like, there's some guys on the hill with the kites. And it's like, oh, I think they're going to run off the hill and then try and catch wind, right? So you can hear us in the background.
Yeah, what kind of response did you get on that?
Well, okay, as it turns out, I mean, I didn't get really many, because I just posted to this YouTube channel that I created, and I never promoted it through social media or anything like that. But because I also tagged the caption, like I captioned the YouTube video, and I put a bunch of hashtags and stuff like that. I think, I can't remember exactly. But one of the commenters was like, this was like, I don't know, a year later, the guy comments and says, oh my God, it's like, that's me and my friends on the buggy, right? And it's like, this is so cool to see, because like, I've never seen us on it. And he said that, and it's so cool to hear people's reaction to what was going on, right? He's like, and he was like, oh my God, this is so amazing, right? And so then we, you know, I wrote back to him, and so that was pretty cool. But if I hadn't, you know, talked about it in the background, and also if I didn't write that, you know, full caption or the story to the video, he wouldn't have found himself, actually.
Hey,
So it was kind of cool, right? And so anyways, so yes, definitely talk in your video. Yeah.
It's also actually making me realize that, you know what, in our own way, no matter what, like, you know, we are having an impact, and we just never know how and where it's going to affect people, right? In which way. So
yeah,
just do our best no matter what we're doing out there, you know. And and I feel like I'm going to get emotional about this, but I feel like that's what social media is helping us do. You know, like, we are getting to create legacy of our lives while we were here. So let's go share that with people with pride and, you know, joy.
Pride, yes. Yeah. And the other thing too, it's making me realize that, well, it's not making me realize it. By doing this, it's making, I feel I'm becoming a better connector with people.
Yes.
Because I'm realizing what engages people.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I would just sit on the sideline and just like take pictures or take videos, and that's it. And not really connecting to people. And so, but through the social media, I'm learning how to engage with people, but also offline now. I'm like a better communicator offline also. So it's not just online, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's cool. Yeah. Okay. Anything else to add about the video part to it? No? Okay. Okay, so then our whole goal today was to put up a post. And I am guilty for not doing my homework and getting a post ready. But so Judy's got something. Okay.
No, I'm saying I'm guilty too, but at least I have a picture I want to share.
Oh yeah, okay. So I knew you had a picture. So yeah. So let's elaborate on that and use that for post work. Okay, so what pictures do you have?
Well, they're on my phone, so I can't really
Oh,
You can
share, right?
hold it towards the
yeah,
camera.
hold it up on to the camera so we can at least see what
Yep,
we're
yep,
working
yep.
with.
Okay. All right. So, getting there.
In the meantime, you guys are coming on tonight for the 7 p.m. Zoom?
Yep, I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's one. Can you see it?
Seafood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mussels? Is that mussel and crab?
It's mussels and Dungeness crab and green beans.
Nice.
And there's
What's
some
that?
raw oysters in there somewhere too, but
Okay. And what's that bowl of liquid? Is that butter?
Butter.
no, it's they don't do butter. I would if I was cooking because I like butter,
Yeah.
but they do it a more healthy way. And so it's a dipping sauce. It's just it's got a whole bunch of different spice,
Oh,
spices
yum.
in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So we'll do a post with that. And then did you have another one or
Yeah, and
more?
then I just found out, a little bit of information while you're talking there. So this is Nymph Falls, and I've got some other shots that we could do a bit of a, more than
Okay.
one.
Sure.
And so that comes, I think it flows out of Comox Lake. And there's a dam at Comox Lake that supplies hydro. But anyway,
Oh, okay.
so that's that. And then the last one I had was, I was going to do the side. Oh, yeah. This one, I don't know if I should put this one on too, but this is just a walk up from the beach for Dolphins Resort. We had brunch there. I didn't take a picture of the meal, so it may not be that interesting, but it's got all little cabins. If you've ever been out to Harrison Hot Springs, there's a golf resort and before you get there, and there's a beautiful property that's right on the lake, and it's got cabins, and this one really reminded me of that.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Well, it's got great colors in that shot too.
And then, of course, this is, oops, I'm getting
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And so that's the little boy at Elk Bay, which is part of Sayward Forest. And that's the logging road. Stay.
Oh, so did you have to hike out to that?
No, we drove
spot?
right in.
Oh.
There's logging roads all the way in.
Oh, okay.
But we chose to go out a different, like do a circle, and it was an unmaintained road, so it was a bit rocky.
Yeah.
And
So
just
that could be 3 different posts, eh?
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
4, actually 4 different ones.
Yeah.
Right, Meal, Nymph Falls,
Oh, right.
Elk
yeah.
Bay, and Dolphins Resort.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Wow.
let's do 4 posts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So do we do it chronological order of the posts, or does it matter? They don't know when I went to, Dolphins Resort for breakfast or Nymph Falls or.
No, it doesn't really matter in this case, because if you're just going to talk about each photo separately as a separate story, then it doesn't have to be chronological. The only reason I would make it chronological is because it'll be for my memory. That then it's like, oh, we did this day, and then the next day we did this, and then but even then it's like for some people it doesn't matter as long as it's just about that trip, and then it'll be 4 different posts, right? So it's up to you.
Well, I think it'll be so like considering what day and stuff that we're at too, depending on what the audience is doing as well too. I think it would be helpful in that area as well. So like for example, the weekend, like the falls and the outdoorsy stuff, maybe save it more towards the weekend. You know what I mean? And then the food stuff, have it more throughout the week. So like, for example, today's Wednesday. So maybe with the out in the, with the boy and the falls, do that post on like uh, Friday, Saturday kind of thing, Sunday maybe, right? And then the food can kind of stay in the weekdays.
Okay, why?
Well, because for when it comes to like the weekends and stuff like that, that's what the activities that people would be doing. Right.
Okay.
So it'll resonate maybe a little bit more with them as well too, because they'll be like, oh yeah, I got out to this and that this weekend as well.
Yes, that's a
Right.
good thought. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking out loud when it would be, because it's also when it resonates with people, because that's where they're at too. And then
Yeah.
for meals, you know, like, I mean, you know, crabs is my absolutely favorite, but I don't know if I'd want to be looking at that at first thing in the morning for breakfast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it's posted like, you know, let's say around like noon and afterwards, it could be like, hey, yes, I think I could go grab crab for my dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Right. So I think
Okay.
maybe the timing of that would have an impact.
Well, okay. So this is the thing with social media also. Like you've got very good points that works really well in the way you're talking about scheduling the posts and that. So that's really, really good. The other thing too to be aware of is that over time, you'll realize that your audience may come online at different times. Like they have what they call optimal posting times. And in general, whether it's your audience or not, you know, people tend to go online, like Elaine was saying, more often in the weekend than weekday. And also, if it's on weekdays, people will get on in the morning before work, or they'll come on after work. And you know, then you'll see a bit of a push sort of around lunchtime ish too sometimes, but usually it's the morning or after work when it happens. And same with the weekend, it's usually in the morning or later on at night because I guess people go out. But again, there's always that little spike, you know, around lunchtime because I guess that's when people have a break and then they're like, oh, okay, go on their devices. And but you'll also realize too that depending on your audience, yours, instead of like, you know, coming on at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, like that might be the peak for Elaine's crowd, but for yours, it might be from 8 to 9. So there'll be a slight variation. But over time, you'll get, you know, the statistics and you'll see when the best time to post for your group is.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, being that crab was the last night, that doesn't matter. I don't have to put that in. I'll just say, here's another great meal type of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's so many different ways of doing it. Again, like I said, it's kind of up to you how you want to, you know, keep your timeline, right? It's just totally up to you. So,
Yeah.
okay. Which one do you want to start with?
Well,
Because we're not going to post all 4 of them today at once,
okay,
right?
but how
We'll
do I do it without posting though? Because you said as soon as we're just practicing and I won't actually hit post. I'll just go in and do it again.
Yeah, or yeah, actually, yeah, because well, yeah, because if you're doing it on your phone as opposed to doing it on the laptop, then we can't follow it.
Well, I can you know, we can do just the one of the crab, and then I'll download my pictures onto my laptop for the next session.
Okay,
And then we can learn how to do the group photos that Elaine
sure.
already knows how to do.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, okay, so then what I would suggest then is because we can't share screens right now with you, what we could do is just talk about it because we've seen the photos now, right?
Well,
And then
what if
we'll just,
I join Zoom from my phone?
you can't share screens from it though.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be, you can only share on a computer,
Okay.
on your
I
laptop.
didn't know that. So good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay. What we'll do is we will start crafting the caption for whatever picture it is that you want to do. I mean, we could caption all 4 of them right now.
And write them down.
Yeah, and write it down.
But,
yeah.
Is that the best use of our time? Does Elaine, what do you feel about that?
I think, well, you know what I think would be, because you already did a really good job doing your caption posting and everything like that. I feel like what would be helpful is if you pour your heart into it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and put everything of yours on there, and then we can come back and do another one and then add in or whatever afterwards.
Critique it afterwards.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that may be more helpful, because I don't want to sway you into what your experience was like by putting my jargon onto it, you know?
Good point.
Because I feel like you already did a great job with the posting that you did the other day with the, like, when I read that, I'm like, Judy, damn girl, you know? So I think you're totally fully capable. You know, if anything, before you're doing the post, you know, minor little things that we can tweak. Let's
keeping in mind the 3 E's. And,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, and I think it's a great learning experience for you too, because you'll be then getting used to it as well too, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So when you do a caption, do you just do it in the comment field, or how do you add a caption onto a photo? Rather than just the post, you know, like if I'm thinking of the multiple ones, right?
Yeah. So if you're doing multiple ones, what happens is, like, you'll have the caption for the main post, and then you'll be able to then go into each picture, and then within each picture there's a space that says, okay, you know, describe the picture.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's when you know, put the caption in for that. Yeah.
Okay, and then I will tag my Barb and Bob separately.
Yeah.
And then at least I've done that too. They're in there.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is you can also tag your location. So each photo, it could be at, you know, Nymph Falls, or it could be at whatever that bay was, or it could be at you know, wherever those lodges are.
And then people can click in there for more pictures or more information on them. Is that the point?
What it will do is okay, so if it's a business that you tag, then if they click on that business link, it will then, you know, show them where it is. And it'll also, if they have a Google business page, like, you know how when you search something on Google and it pops up in Google Maps, and then it's got say the restaurant or the hotel, and then it's got, you know, their
URL.
hours, their address, and then reviews and things attached to it. So that's what will pop up if they click on that link.
I would suggest actually looking up that link before you add it to the caption, because you may want to have a different, like, instead of the GPS menu or maps, you may want to have their restaurant pictures,
the website or something.
So it's an attractive link, maybe, right?
Oh yeah, you could do their website too.
More advertising for them, right?
Yeah. But it is more common. Well, no, that's not true. Sometimes, you can do the link to the restaurant. But if you do like at lodge, for instance, then it'll usually bring up the Google location. Right. So either or, because when it brings up the Google location, it's got the description of the restaurant, and then it's got all the photos that clients have posted, and sometimes the business themselves will have posted pictures, and it will also, you know, and if the restaurant or the hotel is very active on their listing, they will actually have they'll have updated the description of their business, as opposed to not having any description. And they'll maintain it like a separate site, right? So, but either or, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like for now, just you can put one or the other just to practice, and then, you know, then you can see the post, and then you can click on it yourself, and then you can see where it goes, and then you can decide whether you like that or not. So then in future posts, you can adjust accordingly, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What I'm really appreciating about our calls like this, you guys, is, you know, recognizing that how much time and effort all of this takes. And that's why it's like, you know, when you pay a lump sum money to somebody like $7,000 and say, here, and it's like, but I can't move as fast as that.
But that's why they are of value, because they've got all that expertise, all that experience, all the, you know.
Right. But like, to me, it's like sometimes that's moving way too fast for me, because if I'm not at that level yet, I'm just like, it's an overload,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I'm really
Yeah.
moving at this pace because I'm like, this is something I'm comfortable with. And of course, the goal is to take it to the next elevated level.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I don't like, yeah, so I'm just saying, like, if I had to redo my social media experience, I would be paying that $7,000 when I had a little bit more knowledge and understanding like I do now.
Yeah.
Then I would hire that expert, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
to help
Well,
me
that's the
execute
thing.
it.
Like, everything and everybody has a starting point, right? And so, yeah. So, I mean, for that business that you had invested in, yeah, maybe it would have been a little bit premature. Well, we know it's been premature because they needed some content from you, and that you didn't have content, right? And so now you're understanding content, and yeah, and so then basically you don't have to know content extremely well like now, but you understand what is required. So then you just produce a whole bunch of content, and then you let them clean it up for you, and you let them you know, clean up all the verbiage and stuff like that, and you let them do all the postings for you, because they know when, like, the times of the day to post it, and they also will know the locations or what platforms to use to post, right? So yeah, so yeah.
So what are
So
we taking away today then?
talk in your videos.
Yeah, no, but like
Engage.
action,
It's
yeah,
engage your audience.
moving forward. Like, so Judy, like, when should we do our next, this training Zoom? And then also, should we go back to continuing with that study guide that we had? Um, you know, those would be our two main things for now.
How far are we through the guide? Are we halfway or a third of the way, or?
I thought we hadn't gone to Instagram yet.
I
Right.
think skip the Instagram for now. Like, we
Okay.
definitely want to visit that later, but is there anything else for Facebook that we want to know about?
Offhand, no. I mean, some of the stuff that they talk about in the Instagram area is still applicable to any social media. Like when they were talking about, because Instagram is more about images, they actually talk a bit more about the images themselves, right? Which is also applicable, like when we're posting images to Facebook, right? It's just that with Instagram features everything in squares, whereas with Facebook, you can have any, you know, shape. You know, it could be, you know, really long, skinny panoramic shots. It could be, you know, vertical shots. It doesn't really matter as much. But for Instagram, because they present everything in squares, they talk about, you know, how to compose your photos, I guess, right? And so, but composition is still important, whether it's in Facebook or, you know, anywhere that you post pictures. And then they talk about the different types of Instagram posts, which is not applicable. And they talk about hashtags, how to use that. And then, so then they go into, for the last bit, growing your audience organically on Facebook and on Instagram, right? Do you want to go through that right now, or let's save that for the next session, because there's a little bit about, there's, you know, quite a few pages.
4 pages on that, yeah.
4 pages, yeah. So I think that's good for the next topic.
Perfect. Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
So yeah, okay. So for the next video, then we can have Judy. You know, if you want, we can actually have her be on Zoom. This way, you'll have your captions and everything sorted out, and maybe we can have it so that that's the time right after we're done. Judy can do her post.
Yep.
And then we'll go into that, and then we can wrap up with this the last 4 pages on that guide.
Yeah, with growing, organically growing your audience.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So
okay.
Do that.
Okay. So so I'll stop the recording now, and then we'll just schedule the next session then.